Let's get raw and real today, queens. You know the story all too well, don't you? You gave him everything. You weren't just in his corner. You were the whole damn foundation holding him up. You sacrificed. You stayed late. You listened. You cared. You remembered the things he forgot about himself, brought light to the places he didn't even realize were dark. You became his safe space, his rock, his home. And what did he do with it? He threw it away. He didn't just take you for granted. He acted like your love was a free subscription he could cancel any time. You gave him everything, and he treated it like nothing, like you were just there, always there, until he didn't even notice you anymore, until you became invisible, a shadow of all the effort and love you poured into him. Then, as if he hadn't already taken enough, he made the choice to distance himself, to pull back, to reject you in ways you never imagined he could. Maybe it was subtle, in the little ways he stopped showing up for you, stopped putting in effort. Or maybe it was abrupt, like slamming a door in your face when you thought you were standing on solid ground. Either way, the message was clear. You weren't his priority. And it cut deep, didn't it? You felt it, like a knife twisting in your chest. That crushing realization that no matter how much you gave, no matter how fiercely you loved him, it wasn't enough to make him stay, to make him see. You started questioning yourself, didn't you? Asking the same toxic question on repeat. What did I do wrong? You tried to fix it. You apologized for things you didn't even need to apologize for. You begged, reasoned, pleaded, hoping he'd understand the gravity of what he was letting go. But here's the bitter truth, Queen. He didn't care. Not then. He couldn't see it. Men don't feel the weight of what they have until it's gone. And by the time they do, the regret is unbearable. Now, here's what I need you to understand. He will feel it. One day, maybe not today, but one day, he's going to wake up and realize what he lost. He'll go out into the world, meeting new people, trying to distract himself from the absence you left behind. He'll talk to other women, laugh, flirt, even try to fall in love again. But none of them will ever compare. Because, Queen, what you gave him, that was once-in-a-lifetime kind of love. The way you saw him, the way you made him feel. No one else will ever come close. He's going to look for you in everyone he meets, and he's never going to find you. Never. And that void, it'll haunt him every single day. Say it with me, queens. I am the love he'll never find again. Repeat it, feel it, own it. This is your power, your truth. Let the world know. Drop it in the comments right now. I am the love he'll never find again. Let's claim it together. So affirm with me, queens. I am the love he'll never find again. Repeat it, feel it, own it. Feel those words deep in your soul, because they are your truth. You're not just another chapter in someone's story. You're the book they'll wish they never closed. You gave, you loved, you poured your heart into someone who couldn't recognize your worth. But now you reclaim that power. Your absence isn't just silence, it's a statement, a roar, a force. You're not chasing him. He's the one who'll chase memories of you, searching for you in everyone else but never finding what he lost. Say it again. I am the love he'll never find again. And hey, don't just stop here. Throw it out in the comments, declare it loud and clear, and let him find out that you were the one who could never be replaced. The one who set the bar so high, he'll spend his life chasing shadows. So, are you ready to find out how this story unfolds? How he'll go from dismissing you to desperately searching for the love he took for granted? Because trust me, Queen, this isn't just about him realizing what he's lost. It's about you stepping into your strength, holding your ground, and showing him what life without you really feels like. So let's dive into the full story, one step at a time, and uncover how your presence, your love, and yes, even your absence will become the loudest truth he's ever heard. Ready? Let's go. Number 1. The echo of your absence. When your presence becomes unforgettable. So, queens, when you decide to walk away, or maybe he walked away, leaving you in the dark, you're stepping into a moment that feels like a free fall. I know it's terrifying. You gave him your heart, your time, your energy, and now it feels like you're just gone to him. It's gut-wrenching, isn't it? But here's what you need to hold on to. The echo of your absence will eventually become unforgettable, no matter how much he pretends otherwise. Now, most of you might already know this, as it's been discussed before, but let's go over it quickly for the new queens joining us. This video is all about how he will try to find you in everyone else. But he never will. At first, it's obvious he won't feel anything, no regret, no loss, no emptiness. He'll carry on with his life, laughing with his friends, scrolling through his phone, maybe even flirting with someone new. You'll see him post pictures that scream, "I'm fine without her." But trust me, queens, it's all an act. Men don't process loss the way a woman does. He's built this armor around himself, an ego-driven mask to convince himself and everyone around him that he's untouched by your absence. But here's the truth. Your presence was like air to him, constant, vital, unnoticed until it's gone. And now that you've stepped back, or maybe he pushed you away, the quiet begins to settle in. At first, it's subtle, just a flicker of discomfort when his phone stays silent, when there's no good morning text lighting up his day, when he doesn't hear that laugh that used to brighten his evenings. But as the days stretch on, that flicker grows into a full-blown ache. Because the one thing he thought he could always count on, you, has vanished. The void you leave behind is unlike anything else. Imagine a beautiful song playing in the background of his life, a melody he's gotten so used to that he barely even noticed it anymore. And then, suddenly, silence. He doesn't understand it right away, but something feels off, empty. Your absence is that silence, and the more time passes, the louder it gets. Now, let's address the questions swirling in your mind at this stage. I know what you're thinking. What if he doesn't notice? What if he's really happier without me? Listen to me, queen. He will notice. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but your presence was too big, too impactful, to just fade away like it never existed. Men have a way of underestimating the depth of what they've lost until it's no longer available. So even if he's pretending not to care right now, understand that the void you've left is there, growing by the day. And then there's the fear. What if he replaces me? What if he finds someone else? Let me stop you right there. He might try. He might even convince himself for a while that he's found someone just like you. But here's the thing, he won't. He'll look for you in everyone he meets, searching for that same spark, that same connection, that same unwavering loyalty and love. But queens, no one else is you. No one else will ever be you. At this point, your job isn't to wonder what he's doing or if he's missing you. Your job is to focus on yourself. Pour that love you gave him back into yourself. It's not easy. I know the silence can feel heavy, and the temptation to reach out is so real. But every time you resist, you're reclaiming your power. You're letting him feel what life without you is truly like. Let him sit in that void. Let him feel the echo of your absence growing louder with every passing day. Here's your motivation. He will feel it. He will hear that echo, and it will haunt him. Every laugh, every memory, every place you shared together will remind him of the love he dismissed. And when he tries to find you in someone else, all he'll find is a poor imitation, a shadow of what you brought into his life. That's his burden to carry now, not yours. You've done your part. You loved deeply, gave freely, and now you're taking that energy back. So, say this with me, queens. My absence is the loudest truth he'll ever hear. Let those words sink into your mind and heart. You're not just stepping away, you're reclaiming your energy, your worth, and your power. Every day you hold firm, every moment you resist reaching out, is another step toward him realizing that you were the one thing he'll never replace. This is your time to stand tall, to remember who you are, and to let him feel the weight of your silence echoing louder than any words ever could. Because trust me, Queen, he will feel it, and he will never forget it. Number 2. Chasing shadows. When he tries to find you in someone else. When the realization of your absence starts to settle in, something begins to shift in him. It's subtle at first, just an ache he can't quite explain, but then it grows, taking hold of his thoughts and his emotions, whether he admits it or not. This is the moment when he begins chasing shadows, trying and failing to find you in someone else. He doesn't want to face the truth of what he's lost, so he distracts himself the only way he knows how, by seeking out someone new. Maybe it's a fleeting connection, someone who temporarily captures his attention, or maybe it's a series of people, dates, flirty conversations, or casual encounters. But here's the reality. No matter how many faces he looks into, no matter how many people he surrounds himself with, you're still there, lingering in the background of his mind. You see, men are wired to believe they can replace what's missing. It's a coping mechanism, a way to avoid confronting the emptiness you've left behind. He might tell himself, there's someone else out there, someone just like her, maybe even better. But queens, let me be very clear. No one else is you. No one else has the unique combination of love, care, strength, and energy that you brought into his life. Picture this. He's out on a date, sitting across from someone new. She laughs at his jokes, maybe even remembers some detail he casually mentioned. For a brief moment, he feels a spark of hope. But then it hits him, that empty feeling. Because no matter how much this person tries, she doesn't laugh the same way you did. She doesn't understand his quirks or know how to comfort him on a bad day. She doesn't have your warmth, your presence, your essence. And slowly, that spark of hope fades, leaving him chasing something that isn't there. This isn't just about what he's doing, it's about what it means for you. You might be tempted to check up on him, to scroll through his social media, to see if he's moved on. And when you see him with someone new, that familiar pang of jealousy might creep in. You might wonder, has he already forgotten about me? Is she everything I wasn't? Let me stop you right there, Queen. What you're seeing is a mirage, a desperate attempt to fill a void that only you could ever truly occupy. What's happening here isn't about her, it's about you. Every smile he gives her, every story he tells, is a shadow of what he once had with you. He's not connecting with her, he's trying to recreate the connection he lost. And deep down, he knows it's not working. He's comparing her to you, whether he realizes it or not. And with every comparison, it becomes clearer. She's not you, and she never will be. The hardest part of this stage is resisting the urge to break your silence. You might feel a pull to remind him of what he had, to prove that no one else will measure up. But here's the truth. You don't need to. Your absence is already doing the work for you. Every conversation he has, every moment he spends with someone else is a reminder of what he let go. He's chasing shadows, and no matter how hard he tries, he'll never find another you. So here's what you need to do. Focus on yourself. Keep your distance, hold your ground, and let him figure it out. You don't need to compete with anyone, because you're not competing. You've already won. You were the real thing, the one he'll look for in everyone else but never find. Let him chase those shadows. Let him feel the emptiness of his choices. And remember this, queens. You are the original, the irreplaceable, the one he'll spend the rest of his life searching for. Stay strong, because your power is in knowing that no one else will ever compare. Number 3. The quiet void. When he feels what's missing. There's a moment, queens, when all the noise in his life begins to fade. The distractions, the new people, the busy days, they can only keep him occupied for so long. And then it happens. He's left alone, sitting in the quiet of his own thoughts, and the realization begins to creep in. Something is missing. The world feels just a little colder, a little emptier. That's the void you left behind, and it's starting to make itself known. At first, he might not even recognize what it is. Men are often slow to acknowledge the absence of something they once took for granted, but it's undeniable. It's in the silence of his phone, where your messages used to bring light to his day. It's in the spaces between conversations, where he used to hear your voice filling the gaps. And it's in the moments when he reaches for the kind of comfort and understanding that only you could give, and finds nothing. This void isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or drama. It's quiet, creeping in like the soft hum of a refrigerator in a silent room. It's just there, a constant reminder that something important is missing. And no matter how much he tries to ignore it, it lingers. Your presence was his warmth, his safe space, his constant, whether he admitted it or not. Now, without you, his world feels less complete. You might be wondering, what does this void mean for me? Should I feel bad that he's feeling this way? And the answer is simple. No, queen. This void is the consequence of his own actions, of not valuing what he had when he had it. It's not your job to fix it or fill it. That's his journey to face and his lesson to learn. Then comes the doubt, that little voice in the back of your mind saying, what if he doesn't feel it? What if he's fine without me? Trust me, he's not. He might not show it outwardly, men rarely do, but he's feeling it in ways he doesn't even fully understand yet. That quiet void is growing, and the longer you stay silent, the louder it becomes. It's like a shadow he can't escape, following him everywhere he goes, reminding him of the stability, love, and warmth he once had, and now lacks. The most important thing you can do at this stage is nothing. Don't break your silence. Don't reach out to check if he's okay. Don't try to ease the discomfort he created for himself. Every moment you resist the urge to fix things is a moment that deepens the impact of your absence. This quiet void is doing the work for you, forcing him to confront the reality of what he let slip away. So here's your reminder. You were the light in his life, and now he's sitting in the dark. Let him feel it. Let him face it, because this void is his to carry, and your strength is in knowing that you've left a space no one else can fill. Number 4, reaching for memories. When he relives moments you shared. It's only a matter of time, queens. When the distractions start to fade and the quiet void settles in, he'll find himself doing something he never expected, reaching for the memories. At first it's unconscious. A song plays on the radio, one you both used to listen to, and suddenly he's back there with you. Or he walks past a spot where you shared a laugh, a meal, or a quiet moment together, and it hits him like a wave he can't avoid. This is when the memories start to become his companion, whether he wants them or not. He might try to push them away at first, convincing himself that they're insignificant. But memories have a way of sneaking back in, uninvited and unavoidable. And now, every little thing becomes a reminder of you. The way your laugh lit up a room, the way you always knew exactly what to say, the way you looked at him like he was the only person in the world. Here's the truth, Queen. These memories aren't just flashes of the past. They're echoes of everything he lost. And the more he remembers, the more he realizes that no one else has ever or will ever make him feel the way you did. He'll relive the moments he brushed off before, the times you went out of your way for him, the quiet sacrifices you made to show your love. Those memories will sting now because they're no longer a reality. They're just what he used to have. You might be wondering, does he really care, or is he just reminiscing for the sake of it? Here's the answer. He cares deeply. These memories aren't just nostalgia, they're a reckoning. He's beginning to see the depth of what you gave him and the enormity of what he threw away. And as he relives those moments, he's also confronting the fact that he may never have them again. This stage isn't just about him, it's about you too. You might feel tempted to share a memory yourself, to remind him of the good times in the hope that he'll realize what he's missing. But let me tell you, Queen, you don't need to. He's already doing it for you. Those memories are alive and vivid in his mind, and they're doing the work you don't need to. And let's talk about the fear. You might be asking yourself, what if these memories don't matter to him? What if he moves on without looking back? Trust me, Queen, he won't. Those memories are part of him now, woven into the fabric of his life. And the more he tries to move on, the more those memories will tug at him, pulling him back to the love and connection he no longer has. So, here's what you need to do. Nothing. Let those memories work their magic. They're his to relive, his to carry, and his to regret. Every smile, every laugh, every moment you shared is a reminder of what he let slip away. And you? You're moving forward, knowing that those memories are proof of the love and energy you brought into his life. Say it with me, Queens. I am the memory he'll never forget. Hold that truth close, because while he's reaching for the past, you're building a future filled with love, strength, and the knowledge that you were always the one who made his world brighter. Let him hold on to those memories, because they're all he has left of you now. Number 5. The comparison game, when every new connection falls short. Here's the reality, Queens. He's going to try to move on. He'll meet new people, exchange texts, maybe even go on a few dates. On the surface, it might look like he's doing just fine, but deep down, every single person he meets is up against a silent, unwinnable competition. You. Whether he admits it or not, every new connection will be compared to what he had with you, and every time they'll fall short. At first, he might convince himself otherwise. He'll focus on the novelty of someone new, the excitement of fresh conversations and different experiences. But as the days go by, cracks will start to show. He'll realize that this new person doesn't laugh quite the same way you did, doesn't understand his quirks, doesn't have that natural ease you brought into his life. And that's when the comparisons begin. Little flashes in his mind of how you used to respond, how you made him feel, and how this person doesn't quite measure up. It's not just the obvious things either. It's the little details. He'll notice that she doesn't remember his coffee order the way you did. She doesn't know his favorite childhood memory or how he likes to unwind after a long day. The intimacy, the connection, the understanding, it's all missing. He may not say it out loud, but inside he's thinking, she's not her. She's not the one who made me feel seen, heard, and understood. This is the power of your absence, queens. It's not just about what's missing, it's about what can't be replaced. He's chasing a feeling he can't recreate because the depth of what you brought into his life was unique. He's comparing every laugh, every gesture, every moment, and realizing that nothing feels quite as real, as effortless, as what he had with you. You might be wondering, but what if he finds someone who makes him happy? What if she's better than me? Let me stop you right there. No one is better than you. They can only be different. And when it comes to the kind of love, care, and presence you gave him, there's no substitute. That's why every comparison will leave him feeling a little emptier, a little more aware of the void you left behind. What you need to remember is that this isn't your competition to win. You've already won. You're not part of the game because there's no one else like you. Every time he tries to convince himself otherwise, the truth becomes clearer. What you gave him can't be replaced, and no one else will ever bring the same energy, warmth, and love into his life. So, Queen, let him play his game of comparisons. Let him try to find pieces of you in everyone else. While he's busy realizing what he lost, you're free to focus on yourself, to rebuild, and to grow into the best version of you. Say this with me: I am the standard he'll never find again, because that's exactly who you are, the one he'll spend his life comparing everyone else to, and the one he'll never replace. Number 6. The invisible standard, when you become the benchmark. At some point, queens, the comparisons he's making will transform into something even more profound. You're no longer just a fleeting thought or a passing memory. You've become something much bigger. You've become the standard, the benchmark, the silent measure against which every other person in his life will be judged. And here's the best part. This standard isn't one he consciously sets. It's invisible, embedded into his mind, built from everything you were to him. Every time he meets someone new, every time he tries to connect with someone else, this invisible standard is there, looming in the background. He doesn't even realize he's doing it at first. He'll tell himself he's open to new possibilities, but deep down, he's holding them to a bar they can't reach. A bar you set through your kindness, your loyalty, your love, and your presence. It's not just the big things, either. It's the little moments that matter most. He'll notice when she doesn't text to check in after a long day, the way you always did. He'll feel it when she doesn't anticipate his needs the way you effortlessly could. And he'll realize it when the depth of the connection feels surface level compared to the bond he had with you. Without even knowing it, he's holding her up to you, and she's falling short, again and again. But here's the kicker. This invisible standard isn't something he can ever articulate. He can't explain to anyone, not even himself, why these new connections feel empty, why they lack that spark. He might try to move forward, to convince himself that it's not fair to compare, but that standard, your standard, is too deeply ingrained. It's not just a memory of who you were to him, it's a reminder of what he lost and may never find again. You might be wondering, does this really mean anything? If I'm just an invisible standard, does it even matter to him? The answer is yes, Queen. It matters more than you can imagine. That benchmark you've set is a reflection of your worth, your impact, and your uniqueness. It's proof that you were never just another person in his life. You were the person who made him feel something real, something he can't replicate. And here's the truth. This isn't just about him. It's about you too. Because while he's out there holding everyone to a standard only you could meet, you're free. You're no longer the one waiting, hoping for him to see your value. He already does, every day, in every interaction that falls short of what he had with you. So, Queen, stand tall. You are the standard, the benchmark, the one who made an indelible mark on his life. Say it with me. I am the measure of what he'll never find again. Because that's exactly who you are, the irreplaceable standard against which everyone else will always fall short. Number 7, the growing realization when he can't escape your impact. There's a turning point, Queens, a moment when he realizes he can't outrun it anymore. No matter how hard he tries, no matter how many distractions he chases or connections he pursues, the truth starts to settle in. Your impact is inescapable. It's not just a fleeting thought or a passing memory now. It's a constant presence, weaving itself into every corner of his life, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. At first, he might have believed he could move on without looking back. He may have thought that time, distance, or someone new would erase the mark you left. But that's not how it works. The kind of love, care, and energy you brought into his life isn't something that fades. It lingers, shaping the way he sees the world. And the more he tries to push it away, the more it comes back stronger. It's in the way he instinctively looks for the things you used to do, only to realize they're no longer there. It's in the quiet moments, late at night, when he's left alone with his thoughts, and you're the first thing on his mind. Imagine this. He's scrolling through his phone, hoping to find something to distract himself. But every app, every notification, every name he sees just reminds him of what's missing. He might even come across an old picture or message from you, and suddenly that quiet realization deepens. He feels the weight of everything you were to him, the stability, the warmth, the unconditional support. And now, that weight feels like regret. This realization doesn't come all at once. It grows, little by little, until it becomes undeniable. He starts to see that it wasn't just the big gestures or the special moments that mattered. It was the everyday things. The way you smiled at him when he was having a rough day. The way you made him feel like he could conquer anything. The way you understood him in ways no one else ever could. Those things don't just disappear, and they're not something he can find anywhere else. You might be wondering, does this realization even matter if he doesn't act on it? Here's the truth. It matters because it's a reflection of the impact you made. Whether he reaches out or not, this growing realization is something he'll carry with him for the rest of his life. It's his burden to bear, and it's a testament to the fact that you were never just someone in his life. You were the one. And what should you do at this stage? Nothing. You've already done your part by being the incredible person you were in his life. Let this realization be his to face, his to sit with, his to process. Every time he feels it, every time it hits him that your impact is inescapable, it's a reminder of what he lost and what he may never have again. Say it with me, Queens. My presence is unforgettable and my impact is inescapable. Let that truth guide you, because while he's wrestling with the weight of his realization, you're free to keep moving forward, stronger and more radiant than ever. Number 8. The frustration of searching. When he can't replace what he lost. By now, Queens, he's starting to realize that moving on isn't as easy as he thought it would be. He tried to distract himself with new connections, casual conversations, maybe even the idea of a fresh start. But with each attempt, one truth keeps surfacing. No matter where he looks or who he meets, he can't replace what he lost with you. And that realization? It's starting to frustrate him in ways he didn't expect. At first, he might convince himself it's just a rough patch. He tells himself that he just hasn't found the right person yet, that someone out there will fill the void you left behind. But deep down, he knows that the connections he's chasing feel hollow. Each laugh he hears, every story he shares, it all feels like it's missing something, that something is you. And now, that absence has turned into a source of irritation he can't shake. Picture this. He's out with someone new. She's perfectly fine, nice enough, charming, maybe even fun. But as the conversation flows, there's a disconnect. The spark isn't there. The ease, the comfort, the understanding he had with you. It's all gone. And in its place is an invisible barrier that he can't seem to overcome. No matter how much he tries to convince himself otherwise, the truth is glaring. She's not you, and she never will be. This frustration starts to seep into everything he does. He catches himself comparing every little detail, the way she laughs, the way she listens, the way she doesn't quite get his jokes like you used to. It's a constant reminder that what he had with you was rare, unique, and impossible to replicate. The more he searches, the more he feels the weight of that realization, and the harder it becomes to ignore. You might be asking yourself, does this frustration mean he cares, or is it just his ego? The answer is both. Yes, his ego is bruised. He thought replacing you would be easy, and now he's seeing that it's not. But it's also deeper than that. This frustration is rooted in the understanding that he let go of something he didn't fully appreciate at the time, and now no one else is measuring up. It's the sting of regret, growing sharper with every failed attempt to move on. At this point, your job isn't to worry about his frustration. It's not your responsibility to ease it or fix it. This is his journey to navigate, his reality to face. While he's busy searching for something he'll never find, you're free to focus on your own growth and happiness. Let him wrestle with the truth that no one else will ever bring what you brought into his life. Say it with me, Queens. I am irreplaceable, and his frustration is not my burden to carry. Hold on to that truth as you keep moving forward, knowing that the love, energy, and presence you gave him was one of a kind, and now it's his loss to bear. Number 9. The unavoidable truth. When he knows no one else will ever compare. There comes a moment, Queens, when the walls he's built around himself start to crumble, and the weight of everything he's been avoiding comes crashing down. It's no longer just a lingering thought or a passing memory. It's the unavoidable truth staring him in the face. No one else will ever compare to you. He knows it now, without a shadow of a doubt, and that realization hits him harder than he ever imagined. At first, he tried to replace you. He thought he could find someone new, someone who could give him the same warmth, the same love, the same sense of home. But as each attempt failed, the truth began to set in. What you brought into his life wasn't just unique, it was irreplaceable. It wasn't just about your kindness or your care. It was about the way you saw him, the way you made him feel like he was more than he thought he could be. This is when the regret becomes suffocating. He replays every moment he dismissed, every effort he overlooked, every time he made you feel like you weren't enough. And now, the loss isn't just something he feels, it's something he lives with every day. Because no matter where he goes or who he meets, the reality remains the same. You were the one, and he let you go. Picture him in a quiet moment, scrolling through old photos or revisiting a place you used to go together. The memories aren't just bittersweet anymore. They're heavy with the knowledge that he had something rare and he let it slip through his fingers. He looks at the people around him, searching for even a glimpse of what you brought into his life, and all he finds is disappointment. The standard you set has become his invisible guide, and no one comes close. You might be wondering, does this truth really mean anything if he didn't see my worth when I was there? And the answer is yes, it does. This truth is his reckoning, his moment of accountability. It's the realization that he wasn't ready for the depth of your love, and now he has to live with the consequences of taking it for granted. But here's what's most important, Queen. This truth isn't yours to carry. It's his. You don't need to validate it, respond to it, or give him closure. This truth is for him to face and for you to move on from. You've already done your part. You gave your love, your time, and your energy. Now you're free to walk away knowing that you were unforgettable, that no one else will ever match the love and loyalty you gave him. Say it with me. I am the one he'll never replace, and his truth is not my responsibility. Hold on to that power, Queen, because while he's left grappling with the reality of what he lost, you're stepping into a future filled with self-worth, strength, and a love that matches the energy you so freely gave. This was it, Queens. If this message resonated with you, Queens, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more empowering content, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Remember, your worth isn't tied to anyone's ability to see it. It's something you carry within you. Let this journey be a reminder that you are irreplaceable, unforgettable, and stronger than you realize. Keep standing tall, keep moving forward, and never settle for anything less than the love and respect you deserve. You've got this, Queen. Until next time.